welcome to Beers and Buckets, the podcast for degenerates like us who like to drink beer, watch college basketball, NBA, all the other basketballs. I'm your host, Connor Caldwell. I'm joined by Dowell Harmon. Dowell, how you doing this morning?
A little under the weather in terms of my voice, so I sound kind of scratchy, that's why. But got a new computer for work because my old computer turned into a brick. And, yeah, feeling good. Nice. You got a big win last night?
Heck yeah.
Did not get a big win last night. They are definitely not making the tournament, but 50-50 in bad.
Yeah, same with me with UCF. Don't think they're making tournament after a USF loss last night at home. But oh well. We haven't talked in a while. I mean, we kind of did an episode last week, but it didn't work out as far as the technical difficulties. And then the week before that has been crazy. So it's been like 3 weeks since our last B&B episode actually aired. So we are not going to do our typical episode today. But before we get to that, let me tell you about the Basketball Podcast Network. It's a network of podcasts where you can get the latest on your favorite teams and what's happening around the NBA and NCAA. So check them out on Twitter at HoopsPodNet for more shows like this one. Anyways, so we have a lot to talk about. A lot of games that we're going to discuss because we're in the final week of February. So that means a lot of these games a lot of them have serious tournament implications. So we need to discuss them. They're very important. So for that, we're not going to do our last week review. We're not going to do what happened because it's been 3 weeks since we talked. We'd be here for like 2 hours talking about what happened. But there's something of note that came out on Tuesday, I believe, that we should probably bring up a little bit. Just a little bit. Brandon Miller, Nate Oats, what happened? That's the biggest what happened that we'll talk about. So, Dow, give me the skinny on the situation.
So, is it Dexter Miles? Is that the guy's name?
I believe so. Darius Miles,
yeah. He was a basketball player, ended up essentially murdering a girl in like sometime last year, like in the fall/winter. He got kicked off the team immediately. Everyone knew what he did, but it came out on Tuesday that two other players, including Brandon Miller, were present there. In Alabama fans' defense, a little bit because they have definitely been the ones defending him. It seems like Brandon Miller did not know that that Darius Miles' gun was in his car, but Darius Miles was like, "Hey, I need you to come back to they were at some club or something," and Brandon Miller didn't want to wait in line, so he left. He comes back, and that's how Darius Miles ended up getting the gun. It does seem like that from the footage, because for some reason Brandon Miller has a dash cam and other stuff that he might not have known that the gun was in the car at all, but it's still he was at least tangentially involved, but he will not be charged with anything. And so then Nate Oats was like, yeah, he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And everyone's like, nah, there's a little more to it than that. Yeah. But so they were like, oh, we're not going to punish him at all. He has gotten no consequences from this. And then last night he went for 41 and hit a game-winning buzzer beater in overtime against South Carolina.
And he was talking a lot too. He was very vocal last night,
acting like that
more than normal.
Faced a bunch of adversity, which is that's not really what adversity is. And also, did you hear the call on the broadcast?
No, I turned it off after because I was getting annoyed with it.
He hit some shot, and they were like, "Oh, Brandon Miller with the silencer," and I'm like,
"Oh yes, I did notice that." I was like, "Poor choice of word."
You can't say
Yeah, that was something out of Key and Peele right there. That was not good. Not good, but yeah. So I don't know. You guys know I've had love for Nate Oats in the past, but the way he's handled the situation is completely just tanked his stonks, in my opinion. And yeah, we're full up on Muss or Scott Drew at this point to replace Dowell.
Well, we also forgot to mention that when this came out initially, he was like, "Oh yeah, I had Ray Lewis come talk to the team because he's gone through similar stuff," and it's like, no.
No,
Like,
no.
OJ wasn't available, so I had to get Ray Lewis to come in. That's essentially like, what are we doing?
That was terrible. Yeah, no, that was all around bad. So we won't spend any more time on it. We mentioned last week that in our unaired episode that we recorded technical difficulties about Michigan State. So we're continuing to pray for them because there still needs healing, obviously. But
Absolutely.
it was really incredible to see them take down Indiana the other night. That was so fun. I thought it was going to lose, not going to lie, but it was much needed for that team. We talked about it in our unaired episode. So that was cool, and Spartan Strong, definitely. So continue to pray for that community there. But let's get into the beer review, Dal. You ready to drink some beer this morning? It's 10:12.
I am. I am probably sick, and it's
Should not be drinking
morning,
beer,
but let's do it.
Yeah, so I got mine here. I'll go ahead and go first. It is a lighthearted ale from Bell's Brewery in Comstock, Michigan. So it's the can really sold me. It's like a cool old-timey, not old-timey, but it just reminds me, it's giving me 70s vibes, But 3.7 ABV, 36 IBUs, and it's a 3.54 on Untapped. It's an IPA, obviously a low-cal IPA. And so let's give it a try here.
The low-cal IPAs are interesting.
Not bad. Not my preference. Like, you guys know how I feel about IPAs, but I can see why people would like it. It's got a bitter aftertaste. Oh, the initial taste is good. The aftertaste is very bitter. So not my cup of tea. And for that, I'll just stick to any Michigan school, either Michigan or Michigan State. Not for me, but I can see why people like them, and you do you. All right, there we go.
So just some recs for people. Bell's does do a lot of great beers, though. Their Two-Hearted Ale is really, really good. I think it's literally just a pale ale. I don't think it's an IPA, but it's really good. And then Bell's Oberon is probably my second favorite, wheat beer behind Boulevard Wheat. So
the can is dope. I love the can, the fly fishing can with the colors and the 70s vibes. Like I said, it's given. So that's how I feel about Michigan and Michigan State, to be honest with you. Like, they cool uniforms, especially those throwback Michigan State uniforms. Oh man, those are sweet.
Those
I love them so much.
The script uniforms are also great.
Yep. So just as far as not my preference for basketball teams for sure. So yeah. What are you drinking this morning?
I am drinking a West 6 Brewing, which is in Lexington, Kentucky. It's their Cerveza, their Mexican style lager. 4.6 ABV. I don't even think it has an IBU. I didn't see it on Untapped. It's a 3.44 on Untapped, though. Wish I had a lime to go with this.
Yeah.
So obviously it's like a Modelo.
Probably be better out of a bottle too.
Dos Equis, yeah. It's pretty good though. It's got that kind of irony taste that Yingling has.
Yep.
It has a little bit of that in it, which isn't my favorite. But I feel like all of the Mexican style beers have that. Yeah, it's fine. It's definitely crushable. I would probably still prefer a Modelo Especial or a Negro Modelo over it, but yeah, be good.
You almost got canceled, buddy.
Yeah. Give me some brisket tacos.
Oof, yes.
It would be fire.
Yes. All that.
Tacos are so good. We were talking about this yesterday. Tacos are just one of those foods that you're like, I can make good tacos at home. And then you go to a place that has really good tacos, like a restaurant, and you're like, oh, this is another level.
Well, yeah, because it's all about the ingredients that you get, right?
Yeah. So
like the lettuce and the tomatoes, and you could buy pre-shredded lettuce from the store, and it's totally different when you get it from a restaurant when they they actually cut it themselves and stuff. So
I also can be healthy with how I make the tacos, and that's just the wrong approach.
Yeah, no, you gotta veer the other way.
Exactly.
What I've noticed is with making tacos at home, the quality of tortillas, like if you get like whatever the brand is that has like the Mexican flag on it from the store, it's just gonna be like mid tacos. But if you get like legit like from the international food section tortillas, man, yeah.
Or like
They raise the game.
homemade tortillas at like Chewy's. Oh, so good.
Dude, Chewy's so good. Yeah.
No.
We can talk about tacos. We can have a beers and buckets taco episode all day long, or just food episode. We honestly should do that. But for now, let's move on to our Shark Tank upsets. So you guys know the deal. We pick a game. The other person either has to be totally out on this game. They buy a pint, a case, a pony keg, a keg, or the whole brewery, depending on how much they want to invest in this upset. So, Dowell, what are you pitching today?
This is a funny pairing for our games that I didn't realize until just now. I have UCLA going to what day is this? Shoot. I have UCLA going to Colorado on Sunday, February 26th, to face the Buffaloes. UCLA's defense is pretty solid. Colorado's defense is also pretty solid. Colorado's offense is really bad, but they are a really good offensive rebounding team and should be able to take advantage of a height difference there. And I just think UCLA is like bound to lose a game or two by the end of the season because they're too good right now. So this was kind of a vibes pick. And the fact that Colorado's defense is actually really good. So thoughts?
I think we should wait to see what we feel after my pitch, and then we should decide on who's buying who.
Okay.
Because I am also pitching UCLA to get upset this week. Tonight, actually, on Thursday at 11 o'clock in Salt Lake City. So also a road game against Utah. Both defenses for Colorado and Utah are really good. Obviously, UCLA has a really good defense, and their offense is very efficient for the most part, especially with inside the arc there. But here's what I like in favor of my matchup versus yours is the average height for Utah is 7th in the nation with 79 inches there is the average height. And also the fact that they are 4th in effective field goal percentage on defense. So they really make you take tough shots. And if you look at like their miscellaneous components, 3-point percentage, they're 8th on defense, 12th on 2-point percentage, and then 19th. Not that they really affect it, but they foul the right people is what I'm seeing on free throw percentage. So, and they're really good at getting blocks. This UCLA team, we've seen them lose before. I think, what was it? Did we pitch Oregon earlier in the season? I can't remember. But basically, long teams give UCLA a problem because they make their living inside the arc. They're not three-point dependent. The only downside for Utah is that they don't force a lot of turnovers. But if you're making them miss shots, that means you're coming down with a lot of rebounds. So also Utah is really good at getting offensive rebounds, and they're not like terrible at on offense, but they're not great either. And I think they're higher than Colorado's offenses in KenPom. So I'm just giving the nod to that. So with that said, should we just do a countdown on who we're going to pick? Because I have a feeling I know who we're going to pick, but let's just do a countdown anyways.
Okay, yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, Utah.
Both. UCLA is losing 2 games this week.
I don't think UCLA is losing 2 games this week, and I think here's why. And like, this is not me being a hater. I think tonight, late game, obviously it's normal time for them, but it's on the road in Utah, and then they're going to travel and beat and technically Utah's ranked lower, like at 54, where Colorado's 52. But if Utah wins tonight, they'll move up. But I think Utah gets the win tonight, and UCLA gets the revenge on the Pac-12 against Colorado on Saturday.
Counterpoint, they have lost 4 games this year. Both of them have been back-to-back losses. The last time they lost was January 21st and 26th. So back-to-back away games at Arizona and at USC. So they're due to lose 2 games.
That's true.
The back end of them. The back end
as
of them.
due as they could be.
The other two were November 18th and November 20th. That's again end of a month.
You might be onto something.
Back-to-back games.
So are we pitching this together then? Are we pitching? Okay. Then I will buy a case on them when losing both games. UCLA losing both games.
We love it.
I will buy a case of that. Now, if we're doing individual games, I would buy a pint on yours, and I would buy a pony keg on mine.
This is like a flight of.
Yeah.
We're buying a UCLA flight. UCLA flight.
So get in while the getting is good, because UCLA is losing 2 games this week, guys.
That's right.
This has been a fun Shark Tank upsets for sure. That's one of the more fun we've had on this podcast. All right. NBA fans, the NBA action is just getting started, and so are the incredible offers at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can make any $5 NBA pregame moneyline bet and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Check this out. Right now, everyone can earn up to 100% boost with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, place a same-game parlay, and combine multiple bets like which team will win, total rebounds, total points scored, and more. With payouts bigger than ever, DraftKings Sportsbook is where I go to bet on the NBA. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, use promo code TBPN, make any $5 bet this week, and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code TBPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. So let's move on to throwdown games, because we have a lot of games to cover. We haven't predicted in a while. The last time we predicted, you won that week 16-12. So on the season, you're up 5-4. We didn't include last week's games because we didn't really air it, and so we have no recorded proof.
Do we know who would have won, though?
I didn't even check it, to be honest. I don't know. I didn't go through the doc as we went through it. So, but we are going to keep track this week because this episode is airing. And yeah, so tonight we're talking about one of the teams we just talked about in Colorado. USC takes on Colorado at 9:00 in Boulder. What do you think, Dow?
I'm gonna go Buffs here.
I'm gonna go USC. I think I predicted them to beat UCLA earlier in the season. That's the one that hit. I think USC's like sneaky good this season. I mean, they have some bad losses, but they have some really good wins at the same time. So it's gonna be encouraging. Let's go Penn State versus Ohio State at 6:30 in Columbus. Give me the Buckeyes. They need this win, like desperately need this win. It's a home game. And as good as Penn State is shooting, I think that, I don't know if it translates on the road as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Neither of them are in the tournament as of now, probably.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, neither of them are on here. I just have the bracket matrix pulled up. That's kind of sad that this is like not a game. Well, Penn State is in 2 brackets apparently, so I guess they still technically have a chance. But they would need a lot. I think
they're really very much. They're one loss away from being out, and they're one win away from continuing to be that one loss away from being out.
They're not making any
all right.
winning.
Yeah.
They're just not losing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. So the number 2 team in the Big Ten travels to Champaign to take on the number 5 team in the Big Ten. Northwestern is taking on Illinois at 9:00. If you had told me back in November that Northwestern would be the number 2 team in the Big Ten, I would have said, you're crazy. Get out of here. You deserve to be institutionalized. But here we are. It's late February, and Northwestern is the number 2 team in the Big Ten, which tells you everything you need to know about Big Ten basketball. With that being said, I think Illinois takes it. They need a big win. Even though Ken Palm loves Illinois more than Northwestern, I still think, obviously Northwestern has had some quality wins. They took down 3 top seeds or whatever in a row earlier this season, so they have some good basketball in them, but I think Illinois needs it more.
Yeah, I agree. One, the Big Ten is horrendous. It is literally the definition of mid. And Northwestern is one of those teams that, like, they're just playing spoiler to everyone. Like, they're ruining they're Syracuse normally. It's like Syracuse will come in and beat a team, and it's like, all right, that's a horrible loss for that team, but it's just because Syracuse likes to be annoying, and that's Northwestern this year.
It was Rutgers last year. Like,
yes.
Rutgers was that team last year for sure, yeah. And speaking of Rutgers, we have Michigan taking on Rutgers at 8:30 in Jersey Mike's Arena, the power of Jersey Mike's Arena. Who are we picking here, Dowell?
It's got to be Rutgers.
Rutgers.
They've fallen off the face of the planet and have gone from, like, a potential 2 seed to, like, bubble team over the last month. Like, kind of low key. But got to go Rutgers and Jersey Mike's. They
still, I think, have a better chance. Right now, I don't know if Michigan makes the tournament. They don't have any good wins from what I can imagine here. So I'm going to pull up the net rankings just to have it up as we talk about this.
They're not even included in any of the bracket matrix. Let's see what they have. Rutgers, they have it as an 8 seed.
Yeah, and that's fair. They're 5 and 6 in quad 1 wins. So that should be enough. But Michigan,
the Big Ten has 2 6 seeds, a 7 seed, or 2 7 seeds and 2 8 seeds. Like, literally the definition of mid. Well, I say that, and the SEC has 2 8 seeds and 3 9 seeds in this, but whatever.
What's really spoiling a lot of conferences is Big 12 just being so loaded this year. Like, all their losses still count as quad 1 losses, and all their wins count as quad 1 wins. It's crazy. So I mean, they really can't do no wrong. Anyways, so we're going with Rutgers there. Then we're moving on to Friday the 24th. Xavier's taking on Seton Hall at 7:00 in Newark. Who you got in this one, Dal?
I'm gonna go Seton Hall. I like the home team, although Xavier has been playing really well, so I feel kind of bad picking against them, but.
I think Seton Hall's been actually playing very well. I think I'm going to go Xavier, though. I think they have what it takes to get a win on the road here. And Seton Hall can still find their way into the tournament, even with a loss here. But they really can't afford to lose anything else.
Yeah, they're not on the bracket matrix at all right now. So they definitely would need to get on a roll.
Yep. All right, that's it for Friday. There's only one good game. Let's go Saturday the 25th. We have Texas taking on Baylor in Waco at 2:00. I'm going Baylor here, home team. They need this win. Texas away from Moody. Definitely seen them lose before, like in this situation. Keontae George, LJ Cryer, Adam Flagler, very good at basketball.
George has been balling.
Yeah, he has. Yes, he has. So who do you take in this one?
His stock has really risen from an NBA draft perspective over the last couple weeks. I'm going to go Texas, though, just to kind of be – I think this is basically a coin flip. So since you're going Baylor, I'll go Texas. But yeah, Keontae George.
I do think it's probably a coin flip. I agree with you on that. I just give the nod to the home team in the coin flip games for sure. So
makes sense.
Let's go St. Mary's taking on Gonzaga at 10:00 in Spokane.
This might be the best game all week.
I agree. Yeah, this is a rematch game too. So who do you have in this rematch? Since I picked first in the last game,
I got the Gales. Is this a real home game for Gonzaga, or is this a fake home
McCarthy
game?
Athletic Center. I don't know if that's the kennel or not. To be honest,
that is the kennel.
Yeah. Man, I want to go with the Gales, but I think Gonzaga takes the up. Like, it's not technically upset because Ken Palm predicted them to win, but it's the revenge game. So I think they split the season. They'll probably meet up, obviously, in the WCC tournament.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be fun. So give me Gonzaga in this one.
Okay.
All right. San Diego State taking on New Mexico at 10:00 in Albuquerque in the Pit, which is the coolest name for a college basketball arena.
That is
especially if you like barbecue. But give me New Mexico, home team here. They are teetering right now. They're 47th in Ken Palm. Let's see where they're at in the net rankings here. As I pull this up, they're 47th in the net rankings as well. So they need a big win like this. Getting one over San Diego State, who is sitting at 16th in Ken Palm, would be a much needed boost for their resume. So give me the Lobos there.
Bracket Matrix has them as the first team out. They have the highest number of like brackets included as the first team out. I'm gonna go San Diego State. They're a better team. Plus, go Aztecs.
Fair enough. All right, Auburn taking on Kentucky in Lexington at 4:00. What do we think about this game, Dow?
What? This is on Saturday. Should I try and go to this game?
Yes, you should.
I haven't been to a game all year. I feel like I probably should try and go. Gotta go Kates. They're playing better. Hopefully we get CJ Wheeler. That would be their couple name. Severe Wheeler and CJ Frederick soon.
Could you imagine a CJ Wheeler hybrid though, like a Severe Wheeler and CJ Frederick, like the shooting of CJ Frederick and the ball handling, and that'd be nuts. But they have to have Severe Wheeler height though. That'd be the only thing.
In the off season, we should do like in our previews where we create like a transformer, like where we merge two players and we get to do that and pick skill sets that we like push together.
Yeah. We can do from a team. We'll do like make the best player, and then also make the worst player, like Severe Wheeler height with like Oscar Speedway shooting ability from 3-point.
Yep, exactly. I love this. That's a great. This is wonderful.
I'm gonna go Kentucky here as well. Auburn reeling. They've been frauds all season, if we're being honest. But I think the guard play for Kentucky. I think we get Severe Wheeler back, or one of Severe Wheeler or CJ Frederick back. If we get that, it's Sharpie for Kentucky in this one because the guards at Auburn are just not good, and they're not good enough to take them in a deep run in the SEC or NCAA tournament. All right, so Kansas State taking on Oklahoma State at 2:00 in Stillwater. I'm going to go K-State here. I think they're the better team. I think they need this more. Oklahoma State still in the tournament. I think Kansas State needs it more.
Let's see where Kansas State is a 3 seed currently. Damn, that's high. And Oklahoma State is a 10 seed. So they're
the last 3 seed, by the way, or the first 3 seed. So they're 21-7. So
this has them as the third 3 seed, but
does it? I'm looking at Bracket Wag.
Oh yeah. I'm looking at Bracket Matrix, which aggregates like there's 114 brackets that get averaged into it.
Yeah, pretty fair.
You going K-State? I'll go Oklahoma State, just because they kind of need it to solidify their tournament hopes. And obviously it'd be better if K-State won, but I'll default to the home team here.
All right, we have TCU taking on Texas Tech at 12:00 in Lubbock. Man, this is a tough game. Who do you
just shot it for hearts? I'm gonna go TCU.
Who are you taking in this? TCU?
Yeah, I think they're a better team. Texas Tech has been.
I think they're the better team, but somehow, despite the horrendous start to conference play, I think Texas Tech has still found a way where they can sneak into the tournament because they've picked up some really good wins along the way. They're currently like where are they at here? I think they can still sneak into the tournament. They're the first 4 out according to Bracket Wag. I really, honestly, they pick up a win at TCU. I think they'd be the last 4 in. So give me the Red Raiders here because they'll be more hungry for it. TCU can take a loss here and they'll be fine.
True, they're a 6 seed right now.
Yeah. All right, then we have Michigan State taking on Iowa at 12:00 in Iowa City. I'm going Iowa here, the home team. I think Michigan State has picked up some good wins here. But being on the road against a team that probably needs it more than they do, well, they both kind of need it, to be honest. Iowa is, 7 seed, Michigan State 8 seed. So this is tough. This is probably like a flip of position game right here. Iowa's going to want it. Their crowd's going to be up for it. So give me Iowa in this one.
I was thinking Iowa as well. Plus, that means that either my jinx works and
You broke it, buddy. You broke it 2 weeks in a row, by the way.
Let's go. Then maybe not. Maybe I should pick Michigan State. But no, either way, this way I can't lose because I'm picking with you. So we either win or lose together.
Yep. You found a loophole around it.
Gotta hedge my potential jinx there.
Texas A&M taking on Mississippi State at 3:30 in Starkville.
The hump.
This is a tough game. I don't know who to pick in this one.
This game will be really, really fun.
It will be, yeah.
You want to pick first? Or you want me to?
I think I picked first last game, so you can pick first.
All right, I'll do. I feel like Texas A&M has only 2 losses in the SEC, and I feel like that is a complete outlier. So I'm gonna go Miss State.
That's what I'm thinking too. And Mississippi State is the 3rd best defense in the nation.
Tolu Smith is a dog.
This is a really tough game to pick. It all comes down to, I think, like Texas A&M's ability to defend a really mid Mississippi State offense. But also it kind of comes down to Texas A&M's ability to make shots against Mississippi State's defense, which is really hard to get shots off on. So I don't know. Give me Texas A&M. I'll play contrarian since you picked Mississippi State. But I do think them only having 2 SEC losses is an outlier, like you said.
Yeah,
it's not sustainable, especially going into SEC tournament. All right, West Virginia taking on Kansas at 4:00 in Lawrence. Give me Kansas here. I do think West Virginia needs it more, but this is impossible to pick against Kansas at home at this point.
Stupid blood devil magic that they have to somehow win the Big 12 every year.
It makes no sense. It's the power of James Naismith just coming down upon them. I don't know what happened, what they did to deserve this, but
they did nothing. They did nothing. All right, yeah. we need Texas to win because they're our only hope.
Which sucks saying that, but yeah, I agree with you. Arkansas taking on Alabama at 2:00 in Tuscaloosa. Man, this game, honestly, on Ken Palm with a thrill score was way lower than it should have been. This should be way higher. This should be the top 3 game on Saturday. And for some reason, it was like 8th or 9th on Ken Palm in the game.
Sleeping on Nick Smith coming back. He had like 28 and 26 minutes the other night.
Arkansas, yeah, that was nasty work. Arkansas is a very sneaky good team now. Not sneaky. They've been hyped up all season. It's just they've been injured all season. So they're sneaking up on people.
Yeah.
Casuals would be like, oh, where did this team come from? But the ones who knew all along knew they'd be a good team. They're just finally getting healthy. I think Arkansas takes this game. I think the distractions around Alabama, they just won an overtime against a bad South Carolina team. Not a great South Carolina team, but not a terrible one, but not good either. So, I think Arkansas could take this and just they don't have enough film on Nick Smith to game plan for him yet too. So that's a lot of his recent success as well.
So you're going Arkansas?
Yeah. We pick Suey. Which I hate Arkansas, but I hate Alabama more at this point.
Yeah, I really don't want to pick Alabama, but I kind of feel like I should, considering they're a 10-point favorite at home. According to Ken Palm, I'll go Bama. But I hope that Brandon Miller doesn't play and that they get beat by 1,000.
Buddy, that guy's not missing a single game all the rest of the season.
I said the same thing in the Kentucky Spaces on Tuesday, but yes, I agree.
Yeah.
But one can hope.
Yeah, I agree with you. But it's going to be one of those things, and we talked about at the beginning of the episode, but it's going to be one of those things where, whatever happens is going to happen, way later, next year probably, when they have enough to build a case around it or something like that.
They're going to suspend him for 3 games when he's playing for the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, and he's not playing for the Magic. He's going to get too high.
He's a Piston.
Yeah. I really need him to be on the Miami Heat for the memes. And I said that on Twitter, and people were like, what are you talking about? Because if you follow the case, he said the Heat is in the hat. That was the text that Darius Miles sent. So it'd just be funny for him to end up on the Heat just for the memes. But
I think that text was to the other guy. But
yeah, it wasn't from Brandon Miller, but he's still the one that technically brought the Heat
Yes,
So,
he
but
did.
also I think the fit would be good because Jimmy Butler's getting older.
That would be fucking fire. But
yeah.
I don't know if he
It's
makes
not
it.
happening. It's
No.
not happening. It's not happening. Indiana taking on Purdue at 7:30 in West Lafayette. I think I picked last time. You go first on this one.
Yeah, I'm going Purdue. They're better, and Kentucky fans acting like they're not scared of Purdue. Like I don't know what game that has been watched all year, but Oscar and our big men deal with length and height, and they have a dude that's 7'4". So like, why are we like acting like they would be an easy game to win?
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
I'm going Purdue as well. I don't think Indiana has the scoring ability to keep up with Purdue's defense here. Not that Purdue's defense is that good. I just don't think that Indiana's offense is that good. So they really rely heavily on ISO scoring from Trace Jackson Davis. So and Zach Edey's eating his lunch all day long. So yeah. USC taking on Utah at 8:00 in Salt Lake City. I'm going to go USC here. I think Utah will be up from a big win, but I think USC has the length and the ability to force tough shots like Utah does against UCLA and like I predicted. But I think USC is just a better offense and a better team all around.
Here, let me look up one thing for this because I am curious before I pick. They are 19-8 on the year. The Trojans are. Okay, yeah. Every conference win has been, or every conference loss has been on the road. I'm gonna go Utah.
Fair.
Against USC twice this week, but we'll go with it. Maybe it's
I'm splitting with Utah and USC. I think I have them split there. So, all right, Sunday the 26th, we have Illinois taking on Ohio State at 12:00 in Columbus, Ohio. I hate that. I don't want to pick this game at all. Who are you picking?
Why did you put this? I don't pick it either.
I'm actually going to go Illinois here because I just don't trust Ohio State to win 2 games in a row at this point in the season.
Yeah, I'll go with you on that, actually. I feel it's kind of lame, but...
No, I mean, I think it's the right pick.
Team.
Yeah, they are. Northwestern taking on Maryland at 12 as well in College Park. Who you got in this one?
So, Northwestern, like Texas A&M, seems like a fraud in the number 2 spot in their respective conferences, but this game is in College Park, so I'm going to go Maryland.
So it's tough because I think I picked against Northwestern earlier. So I'm actually going to go. Let me check. Yeah, I have them losing to Iowa. So I'm going to go or Illinois. I'm going to go with Northwestern here because they are the number 2 team in the Big Ten. So they didn't get there by accident. They got it by upsetting 3 good teams in a row. I think they could split the week. Cincinnati taking on Memphis. This is a serious tournament implication game for Memphis. 2:00 at the FedEx Forum. Cincinnati wins. Memphis is out. There's no way around it. I'm gonna go Cincinnati on this one.
I'm gonna go Memphis with their backs against the wall in what is a very, very fun FedEx Forum arena. Memphis in general is. There's some sketchy spots, but barbecue is great. FedEx Forum is great.
I thought you were talking about the team, and I was like, "Yeah, I mean they rely heavily on the 2-man game there." That's funny.
This is a vibes pick.
You're talking about legitimate, like the city of Memphis.
like I love their barbecue, and that is also the first place I went to a Hooters ever. And I went with my mom and my stepdad realized that the new episode of 24 was coming out. This is obviously when like streaming wasn't a thing. So he like raced back to the hotel. So it was my mother and like 7-year-old me just chilling in the Hooters in downtown Memphis. And that was, I'm sure we got a bunch of looks like, why is this woman bringing her
kid in a Hooters?
Very much like child son to Hooters, but good times.
I'm curious about this game. I'm sticking with my pick on Cincy, but I think this is a really good matchup, to be honest with you.
This game should be really fun. Plus, 2 o'clock on a Sunday. Like, what are you doing 2 o'clock on a Sunday?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nothing. All right, so then we have Wisconsin taking on Michigan at 2 o'clock in Ann Arbor. I'm going to go Michigan here. They're the home team, and Wisconsin, stinky poo-poo, no thank you.
This is so bad. I'm going Michigan, too. This is a home game. Wisconsin's buns. Man. Also, I'm just not realizing the Chrysler Center is not like Chrysler, the like
car.
Yeah, and
it's like the town. Yeah. All right, we're like halfway there, guys. So bear with us. We had a lot of games. We told you we had a lot of games. So Monday, the 27th, we have Baylor taking on Oklahoma State at 9 o'clock in Stillwater. Who you got?
I picked Oklahoma State to win earlier. I'm going to pick Baylor here. Plus, I picked Baylor to lose against Kansas.
I'm going to go Baylor here. I think we know what this Baylor team's capable of doing now. They figured it out. Keontae George stepped up. Not that he was ever really down, just he's taken another step.
Yeah, he is at the next level.
Yeah, so give me Baylor on the road here. We have West Virginia taking on Iowa State, sticking with the Big 12 in Ames, Iowa at 9 o'clock. I'm going West Virginia. I picked them to lose earlier against Kansas. I don't think they take 2 road losses in a row. Iowa State, for what it's worth, is kind of all over the place this season. So is West Virginia, but, I mean, I don't think it's a bad loss for either team, no matter what.
Yeah.
Though, so,
I'm picking Iowa State. Yeah, Hilton Magic on their side. They've been up and down, but mostly that up and down has been on the road. At home, they have been really consistent. So I'm going to go Iowa State.
Yep. All right, then we have, let's see here, Nevada taking on Wyoming at 9 o'clock in Wyoming. The Hunter Maldonados are taking on the, what is Nevada's, what are they, the Wolfpack?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think about this game? Trying to find the matchup on here.
Wyoming is just a cluster of a team. They have had like 3 guys leave because of either injury or like getting kicked off. Like they're all over the place. So I'm gonna go Nevada here.
See, I feel like this is one of those like, oh, there's no way they could ever win. Like they have no reason to. But this is 100% is a spoiler game, like we talked about earlier.
They're just being assholes at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So that's with that said, I'm going with the Cowboys. Go Pokes of Wyoming. Let's see Hunter Maldonado go off. All right, Tuesday the 28th, we have San Diego State taking on Boise State at 9 o'clock in Boise. I'm going with the home team here. Actually, no, what? I'm going with the home team here. I'm sticking with it. Home team here. Give me the Broncos.
I'm going to go San Diego State playing the spoiler because Boise State's kind of on the bubble despite being 27th in KenPom. So I'm going to go Aztecs again, plus at least just pick them.
Yeah, true. Iowa taking on Indiana at 7 o'clock in Bloomington. Who you got in this one?
Assembly Hall. I'll go Indiana.
I'm going Indiana as well. I think I had them losing to Purdue.
Losing to Purdue earlier, so
yeah. So splitting the week with them, they need a win. There we go. Arkansas taking on Tennessee, Knoxville at 9 o'clock. I'm going to go Tennessee here. I think this is a much needed win for Tennessee. It will be March, so we don't know if Rick Barnes can get it done. But what's your question?
I think this is technically still in February.
Oh, true. Yes, the 28th. Oh, yeah, definitely give me Tennessee then, because the curse of March is not on Tennessee yet.
My question was going to be, which one of these teams are we going to get for both sides? Because
yeah, I know.
This game is – you could tell me the score for this game, and you could tell me that it was 30-22, or you could tell me it was like 87-80, like 1 or something. Like there is no outcome for this game that would surprise me because
I agree.
These teams are completely all over the place. I'm gonna go Arkansas just because you're going Tennessee.
Yeah, I think what probably we'll see the return of Josiah Jordan-James and the return of Julian Phillips in this game. I think at that point it's been like a little bit. So, and like I said, Tennessee, for the culture, for the program, going into March, they need a big time win. This is the opportunity to get it. Now we have NC State taking on Duke in Durham at 7 o'clock. This is a revenge game for Duke potentially. Don't care. Give me the Wolfpack. They need this. Duke sucks. And with that said, Duke's probably going to win because I picked against them. So
Duke is the worst. I'm mad at NC State, though. Wake just kept throwing them the ball. Like, Wake was like, oh, we're going to do offense. And then we're like, no, we don't want to do this anymore. Here you go, NC State. It's so frustrating. Plus, Damani Monsanto is probably out for the season. Just bad stuff all around.
Yeah.
I'll go Duke, I guess. I don't feel good about it, though.
I don't feel good about NC State in this pick either. It's more so no matter – I don't feel good about picking a Duke game at all. I'm almost ready to just eliminate picking their games because I haven't hit one all season. But, yeah, here we are. Michigan State taking on Nebraska at 9 o'clock in Lincoln. This has tournament implications for Michigan State, especially if I have them losing earlier.
Sure.
Give me the Spartans. I don't care. It's on the road. Spartan strong, baby.
That's dumb. Yeah, they're going to go Michigan State as well.
Texas Tech taking on Kansas at 9 o'clock in Lawrence. I'm going Homer pick. I'm going Texas Tech.
Give me the Red Raiders. I just need Texas or Kansas to lose because this is bullshit. They're not going to lose this game. But 2
home games in a row for Kansas is gross. But here we are. But yeah, give me Texas Tech. I think the better Kevin shows out against Kevin McCullough. So yeah.
Sure, revenge game for him.
Yep. All right, Clemson taking on Virginia at 7 o'clock. Who you got in this one?
Shoot, talk about it's so mid. Like this is a Big Ten game right here.
Yeah.
Virginia just got beat by 20 by Boston College, which is horrendous.
And they stormed the court too.
Clemson's fallen off the face of the planet. This is gross. Why did you put this on here?
Because it's fun.
That's true. It is kind of fun, but this is a disgusting game. If anyone watches this game, please tweet at us and tell us that you watched this game, and we will give you
We'll buy you a beer.
We will give you a virtual hug. Actually, no, I will Venmo you if you watch this game because you do not deserve to go through watching this game. I'm going to go – I'll go Virginia just because they're at home.
Yeah, I'm going Virginia because they're home too, and that loss against Boston College was gross. They need to get right. They need to get right. All right, Wednesday, March 1st. We made it to March, people.
This is March.
Also, side note, I'm so sick and tired of John Rothstein saying January, February, Tom Izzo, April, he has 1 championship. He has 2 Final Fours in how many years?
Hey, the championship is won in April, not March, so that's why.
True, but still,
it is really dumb.
It's for as much crap as other coaches get, like John Calipari for underperforming in the tournament. Then we have Michigan State. Tom Izzo's been there for 30 years and has 1 championship and whatever. All right, Wednesday, March 1st, Texas taking on TCU at 9 o'clock in Fort Worth. Give me the Horned Frogs here in this one. At home against Texas, in-state rival. Yeah, give me TCU.
I agree, TCU. Go Horned Frogs. Hit my code. That's what it is. There you go.
Yeah. Xavier taking on Providence at 6:30 in Rhode Island. Who you got?
I think I haven't picked Providence in the game all year, so I'm going to pick Providence.
I'm going to go Providence as well. I'd like to be contrarian, but I do think that they have the upper hand being at home, and Xavier can afford a loss, and I picked them to win earlier this week. Maryland taking on Ohio State at 7 o'clock in Columbus. This is the third Ohio State game we've talked about in this episode.
Yeah, seriously. You got it.
I'm going to go Maryland here. I think they're a better team, more complete, and like I said, I don't trust Ohio State to string together a couple wins in a row at this point.
Me either. Maryland.
Despite the start of the season that they had,
yeah, they
just completely fell off.
I think people just like realize, oh wait, we only have to guard Bryce Sensabaugh, and then that just kind of did it.
Utah State, UNLV, 11 o'clock in Las Vegas. This is a tournament implication game for sure.
Yes.
Utah State is squarely in the bubble. A loss here knocks them out. Does UNLV play spoiler here? What do you think, Dal?
UNLV is not really playing for anything. No, I think Utah State playing for something and being the better team gets them the win.
Yeah, I think so too. They're showing out for the Mountain West there. All right, and we have Auburn taking on Alabama at 7 o'clock in Tuscaloosa. Give me Bama. I picked them to lose at home earlier against Arkansas, and Auburn's just not good.
Auburn buns. Auburn belongs in the Big Ten.
All right, last game.
Or every mid team to the Big Ten, so they belong there.
Yeah, true. Last game here, the 37th game. Here we go. Oklahoma taking on Kansas State at 8 o'clock in Manhattan, Kansas. Who you got?
I'm going to go K-State. One, because I'm going to point out that we haven't picked a game differently on Wednesday, so you should go Oklahoma. But
I was already planning on going Oklahoma.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. No, I think that Oklahoma is a solid team. They took a loss to Red Raiders the other night, but, I mean, Oklahoma also whooped Bama earlier this season, so we know that they have the ability to win big games like this. So, yeah. All right. Well, it's time for the last call then. Dow, what are you departing with us today?
Last call. I feel like that this is a broken record kind of thing at this point, but don't overreact in the moment. Over the last month, as Kentucky has kind of come back, we have gone from everyone falling back in love with John Calipari and saying that he can coach for forever, and then he lost 2 games, and everyone was back on the fire Calipari, and then we beat Tennessee again, and Chris Livingston is a star apparently now, and everyone's back on the Calipari train. Just like, don't get too high or too low. I was too low on Chris Livingston also, and Chris Livingston has been a baller. So that was on me. But, yeah, just like don't get too high or too low. Go with the season. Realize that like you're going to lose games that that you should win, and you're probably going to hopefully win some games that you should have lost. But literally every team in the country, including the best teams, lose games that they should win. So don't really overreact to them, because that's just what happens when you cheer for 19-year-olds in a dumb sport.
Yeah. Also, yeah, like since we last recorded and aired an episode of Beers and Buckets, we've been like as low as we can go, as high as we can go, and back down low, and then back up again, like as Kentucky fans. So just like you said, don't overreact. Just absolutely hilarious how like the roller coaster of a season this has been. I agree with you on that. And oh man, I had a point right there too. Let me think. It was right there on the tip of my tongue. I was about to say it. Anyways, wow, this is bad. This is a bad podcast right here. Well, I'll end up remembering it and end up tweeting it or whatever. But with all that, this has been a really fun episode, despite this crappy ending to the last call. Make sure you follow Beers and Buckets on Instagram and TikTok. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, rate, leave a review, and share this episode. And check out the Basketball Podcast Network on Twitter for more shows like this one. This has been The Bottom Line, because Connor said so. And you guys have a fantastic week.
Go Deeks.